Friday Nation? Welcome to Courtside Vision, another episode for you guys where we talk all about hoops, whether it's NCAA or NBA basketball. I'm Jalen, and I'm here with FDN insiders Terrelle and Andy. Really excited to have you guys. And we're going to talk about Final Four predictions today. So we're going to talk and go deep into Final Four for men's and also Final Four for women's. I think it's an exciting weekend as far as games going on. I know for Friday, we have two women matchups that I think are going to be really big. And then especially all number one seeds for the Final Four for men's. I think those are going to be big games too. But to start us off, let's go start with our Final Four predictions as far as men's national championship. So first game that we're going to go over is Duke versus Houston. So we'll start with Andy. Duke versus Houston game that's going to be on Saturday. Who do you think, and what's your prediction as far as who's going to win that game?
Duke Houston is it's going to be a great game. I think I got Duke in this one. I think that they have some of the most NBA talent level that I've NBA level talent that I've ever seen out of a college basketball team. It's a huge March Madness for them. John Shire has a chance to become, I feel like, the next Coach K. I feel like he's going to be that good of a coach. So yeah, I feel like Duke is just. I love Houston. I love their coach. He's amazing, but I feel like with the NBA level talent that Duke has and just how good they've played this season, I feel like Duke is going to win that one.
Yeah, I think out of all the games, especially with the women's, I think the Duke versus Houston one is going to be something really special. I think it's honestly going to be a crazy matchup, especially since like the defense that Houston has, and then the offense that Duke has, and just kind of the star power that Duke has. I think it'll be one I definitely will be checking on my checklist to watch out of all the games this weekend. But yeah, I kind of go with you, Terrelle. As far as the Final Four matchup with Duke and Houston, what are your thoughts and predictions for that?
I'm going with Duke. I think Duke right now is on a roll, and it's like a monster that cannot be stopped. Flag, just good on offense and defense. I have Duke on this one.
Yeah. I think for me, I got to go Duke as well. As much as I love Houston, I think this year they have a really good team. They have the depth, and I think the coaching is really good. I think their defense, it might be number one in the country especially like with the four teams left over. I think Houston has the best defense, and they've been shooting the three ball at a high clip. But I just have Duke number one. I mean, they're very efficient, and I think their defense is good. When you have like Malawak in the back, you have Tyrese Proctor, you have Knuppel, and then also Cooper Flagg, who I think is going to be a number one pick. I think offensively, I think Duke will do a pretty good job spreading out the defense that Houston has, their juggernaut of a defense, and just grind out a win. And I think like if they're able to kind of physically handle Houston and get stops on the defensive end and minimize the threes, I think Duke definitely could pull it off. So I think it's a clean slate across the board. We got Duke, so that'll be a good one. Hopefully Duke makes the national championship, but you guys heard it here first. FDN's going Duke for that game. Clean slate, so exciting. Next game I think I'm really excited for. So the other side of the bracket for the men's Final Four, we have Florida versus Auburn. I think those are two juggernauts as well. So I'll start with Terrelle on this one. As far as Florida and Auburn, who do you have winning that game?
Okay, due to the fact I'm an FSU fan and an FSU insider, I'm going not Gators. I'm going with Auburn. Even though I'm not an Auburn fan, I don't like Auburn also, but yeah, I just have to go with Auburn. I just want UF to lose.
Just because you're an FSU fan, huh, Terrelle?
Yeah,
like solely on the rivalry.
Full-on rivalry.
No, I mean I can't go against you. I mean, if Florida was my rival or Auburn, I definitely have to go against them. So I think that's a valid take. And yeah, Terrell's our FSU insider, so Terrelle has to go with Auburn with that one. Andy, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Auburn on this one. I feel like Auburn is super deep. I love everything that they have to offer. Janai Brim is right up there with Cooper Flagg as, two of the best in the nation. I also feel like they're super deep with, I think Tahad Pettiford, like a 5-star is on their bench. I was like, what? I was like, I'm a Maryland fan. We have Derek Queen, and he's a 5-star, and he's our best recruit that we've pretty much ever had. And to sort of have a 5-star on their bench, I think that shows how good and how deep they are. And to add on top of that, I mean, Bruce Pearl is an amazing coach, and he, just coaching is huge in March Madness. So yeah, I got Auburn for that one.
Okay, so both FDN insiders, Terrelle and Andy, have Auburn. I have to go Auburn as well. I originally was for Florida. I had Florida in my bracket, but I just think coming out, like just seeing these past couple games, like especially the one against Texas Tech for Florida, like grinded out a win. I think that was a solid win for them, but I just don't think they're at the peak at where I want them to be a good Auburn team. And I think Auburn has been rolling. I know Florida won their last meeting. If I recall, it was like 90-81 at Auburn. So they do have them against, they play them. But yeah, I just don't think Florida's there yet. And I don't think they're ready compared to Auburn, who's been rolling. And I just think as long as Auburn is able to like crash and control the boards with that powerful front court that Florida has, and just limit their boards and then just lock in on defense and force turnovers, I just think Auburn has the best chance. I think Pettiford, I think he's due for a game against Florida. I think this is like the perfect game where he could really go off. And I think Brune got injured in the Elite Eight, so I think depending on Johnny Brune's injury status and seeing if he's healthy, I don't think anyone can really stop him. I think you said it best, Andy, when it comes to another guy who's really good besides Cooper Flag. I think he's right there with him. And I know he's a lot older than Flag, but I just think like those two, Pettiford and Brune, are going to be the ones to really get Florida out. So another clean slate. So FDN has Auburn winning the Final Four. So we'll see as far as the matchup. But for our Final Four predictions, Fandom Nation, Insiders Terrelle, Andy, and then myself, we got Duke and Auburn. All right, so I know we talked a bit about the Final Four matchups for the men's. The other side of March Madness, I think the women's side has been really, really fun to watch lately. So now going to the women's side, the first matchup that we have for the Final Four women's to get to the national championship is South Carolina versus Texas. So with South Carolina and Texas, this is their fourth meeting this season. So South Carolina is 2-1 this season versus Texas, especially being in the SEC. And we know that South Carolina is defending national champions. I just want to point that out. But we'll start with you, Andy. For South Carolina and Texas for the Final Four on the women's side, who do you have winning that game?
I have South Carolina for this one. I'm a Maryland fan, and they played the Terps pretty close. It's a hard fought game, but they ended up winning. Makes sense. I mean, South Carolina, Dawn Staley, that team is, I'm pretty sure they were at perfect all the way last year. I think they're going to win this one. I think that they have so much talent.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Terrelle, how about you?
I'm going South Carolina. Dawn Staley, they know how to play in tough moments and get a W.
Yeah, I think they just have like you said it best. I have to go with South Carolina too. As much as I love Texas and Madison Booker, I think she's been sensational this season. I would think the defensive focus for South Carolina, and they just been there before, and they have the experience of winning a national championship. And of course, when you have Coach Staley there, like you can't really doubt them out. So I got to go South Carolina. I think defensively, if they focus on Madison Booker, I think Bree Hall's been doing a great job whenever facing Booker. So if they're able to keep her low and into a low shooting percentage, I think South Carolina easily wins this game. So I guess we all got South Carolina as well. Getting on that side of the bracket. So South Carolina going to the chip. The next one, this is as far as the two matchups, I think this one I'm really excited to watch. I don't know about you guys, but I think UConn versus UCLA is like really exciting. Of course, Paige Beckers, I'm a big fan of hers. So as far as UConn and UCLA, Terrelle, who do you have as far as your Final Four prediction to win that game?
So from the month of brackets I made, South Carolina was my main winner. Then also have UConn. Also, does Paige Beckers, she's a beast. Going to be the number one draft pick this in the WNBA. So I'm going with UConn. I don't feel like UCLA have that special player to push them over the edge. But again, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. UConn. Terrelle got UConn. How about you, Andy?
I got UConn. I feel like Beckers I feel like she's insane. Like Terrelle said, number one player in the draft. I think Gino Auriemma is a really good coach too. I think he's done such a great job of leading them, and as you can tell, coaching is a pretty big deal with me. I've been kind of looking into that a lot, especially this March Madness. So, yeah, I feel like UConn has it all to, get the win and go to the championship.
Yeah, I think as far as coaching, UConn definitely has a top tier coach. I mean, Gino's been. I mean, you look at UConn's past, definitely he's a winning coach and he knows how to win. And I just think they have the best player in college basketball right now. I know Juju's injured, so which is so unfortunate, but I think right behind her is Paige. And I mean, if you've been watching the crazy performances that she's had, 40, 31 these past 2 games, I just think she's due up for another crazy performance. And I think against UCLA, I think she really can. And I just think, I got to go with UConn. I think it's just their time now. I think they are looking like the best team in the nation out of all the four teams in the Final Four. And I just think they have momentum that other teams don't have coming into the Final Four that can really help them grind out a win against UCLA. And I know UCLA has Lauren Betts, and I think she's amazing, and she's a dog in the post. But I think that matchup between Sarah Strong and Lauren Betts, I know Sarah Strong is a freshman, I believe, for UConn, but I think if you look at the Elite 8 game against USC, she was killing. And then I think that matchup between Sarah Strong and Lauren Betts on Friday is going to be a fun matchup to watch in the post. So I got to go with you guys, UConn. So we got South Carolina and UConn moving on. If it were South Carolina and UConn in the national championship, Terrelle, who do you think would win that one?
That's a difficult one because anyone I pick, either gonna make me the most happiest person or break my bracket. I have to say, I'm gonna say UConn. I just want Paige Beckers.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in America really want to see Paige Beckers win one, so, especially since it's her last year. So, Terrelle, you got UConn. Didn't you say South Carolina was the one in your bracket?
Yeah, I made multiple brackets. So I have one with South Carolina, and then I have one with UConn. So I'm either one of them I would love to win.
But you think UConn would if it was UConn versus South Carolina in the matchup, UConn definitely
Yeah,
would.
I'm going with UConn.
Okay. How about you, Andy? South Carolina, UConn, if it was a national championship, what was your prediction to be the women's champion for 2025?
I'd love to see UConn, but it's so tough to bet against Dawn Staley. I mean, it's so tough to bet against her. She does everything right as a coach. She's, I just saw a video today about how she turned around the University of Temple while playing in the WNBA. I mean, that is insane. So it's hard to bet against her. I have to go with South Carolina for the championship.
South Carolina. All right, well, 1-1. So when Andy has South Carolina, Terrelle has UConn. For my deciding factor, and this is basically on the story and who I want to see win, I really just want to see Paige Beckers win. So, no breakdown, no insights, no stats or data aside, just straight up based off who I want to win. And just the team that I just love more, I got to go with UConn. Yeah, I just really think the Paige Beckers, last year, I just think it would be a Cinderella exit for her to just win it, especially against the defending champions. And I just think, it's UConn's time. And I think these next 2 games, if she wins this Final Four and then is able to go to the national championship, I think she's going to have crazy performances. So I got UConn here, but I honestly think for the Final Four, I think any 4 could win. South Carolina, Texas, UConn, UCLA, I think it's all up for grabs. So, and I think that's also for the men's. I think Duke, Houston, Florida, Auburn. I think it's so close, we honestly don't know. I know Duke is the favorite for everyone, but I feel like all number ones, every person has a shot. So I think this weekend's exciting. Anything else that you guys want to say about it? But yeah, really excited. I know this year not a lot of upsets as we wanted. Not everyone wants all number ones for the men's to go, and then of course the women's. You could kind of feel this was for maybe USC if Juju doesn't get hurt, but it was kind of a lock for these teams. But really excited to watch hoops this weekend.
I could say my men's bracket was the worst it's been for years. The worst, and the ladies was on point. So,
well, Terrelle, that's why you watch women's sports. You're the insider guru. So I can see why. Man, my bracket's been totally busted from like the start, so I haven't looked at it lately. But I did get Duke winning it and Florida won the final, so hey, that could be the one thing that I get out of it. But yeah, bracket's been busted since like round one. But yeah, well, appreciate everyone for tuning in to Courtside Vision. I want to thank FDN Insiders Terrelle and Andy for hopping on and giving insights about their Final Four predictions. Next episode, we're going to talk more about NCAA basketball, talk about our national championship, and more NBA insights in the future. So tune in, like, comment, subscribe, and excited to see you guys soon.